my name is Maria Park, and this is Approach the Nerd. And in this episode, we are talking about Charmed Reboot's favorite white lighter, Harry Greenwood. Or as he used to be called, James Westwell. So on one of my previous Charmed videos, one of my awesome viewers like you asked me a question. And that was what I thought was actually happening with Harry in season 2. Especially with the whole doppelganger assassin trying to kill the Charmed Ones plot. So I thought about it long and hard, and this is what I think is happening. I have a few theories. I'm hoping this first one that I'm about to tell you about is the actual theory that is true. So I'm going to start with that one. And this is what I think may be happening. But to tell you what it is, let me give you a little bit of backstory. So as you know, James Westwell, who later becomes Harry Greenwood, was an actor who gets recruited into the British Army. He either got recruited or he joined. He was married, his wife just had a baby, and he basically dies in service defending his country. And when he died, right at the moment his soul is either going to heaven or wherever's happening, the elders ask if he would like to become a white lighter and help witches and future witches. Well, James Westwell decides that is what he wants to do, but in the process, the elders wipe all memories of his previous life. So he doesn't remember his wife and his son, which I guess is to keep him from being conflicted over his role now as a white lighter. The same thing kind of happened, I think, with Leo, but I think in the original series he did remember his wife. And there's part of the episode where he goes back and tells his wife to move on. So I do remember that he did have closure a little bit in that regard, and he didn't have any children when he became. But they were both in the military. They both died during their military service, so that's similar. It's just that I think Leo was actually training to be a doctor, and James was an actor who became a soldier. So it's a difference. So if you ever watch Star Trek, and they have what we call the Mirrorverse, you know that for every good side, there's a parallel world with people who are opposite. So in the parallel Mirrorverse, Captain Picard, Spock, all of our key players have doppelgangers of themselves, but they're all evil. They had a similar episode in Charmed wherein Chris, Piper and Leo's son from the future, was going home. And they were in magic school and they cast a spell, but Gideon, who was evil and wanted to get rid of Wyatt, messed with the spell or tampered with the spell with the help of the evil version of doppelganger of himself in the other Mirrorverse, and brought the good Leo and Chris to the dark side of their world. So the canon opposite of where they were, like the canon universe has a darker side. And then the dark or evil Leo and Chris came to the good canon side of Charmed. So this is my theory. If that's possible, and we know that the Charmed reboot is doing everything in its power to differentiate itself from the original canon series, what if when someone dies and the elders approach them and they're given the option of becoming a white lighter, which is the embodiment of goodness, pretty much an angel, that the darkness that resides in all of humans has to go somewhere? And what if that darkness manifests itself as a dark lighter? And that is how dark lighters are created. That is my theory. That is what I think is actually happening. I don't know if it's happening. I do think if they're able to translate the Book of Elders, they're going to learn a lot of stuff that's happening with the elders that they kept under wraps, because in every version, the elders are a little shady. So, I mean, it's probably something they already knew. But if that theory is true, then that means that every white lighter that is now dead, that's been confirmed dead in season 2, has an evil counterpart running around. And the Charmed Ones are going to have to stand up against them too. So that would be I think that would be very cool. That's a very good plot twist. And also it would be a big problem for Harry, because Harry already takes on a lot of responsibility for everything. So imagine him understanding that his choice to become a white lighter led to him also helping to create something evil that's out there hurting and killing people, especially the witches that he's sworn to protect. So that, to me, would be an awesome plot twist. That's just what I think. Another theory that I have that is less likely is that one of two things are happening. Maybe we have a comic book multiverse thing going on where like there's an alternate timeline and this Harry comes from there, and maybe his charmed ones were like evil and destroyed the world. So he goes from world to world to world trying to take them all out. Kind of like if you ever read the comic book, The Batman Who Laughs, kind of similar to that. It just goes to every universe. That could be a thing. I don't know. And like this is just the canon reboot world, and he's arrived on that one to take them out. Less likely, but on a comic book level, and I am a comic book nerd, that would be kind of cool. Another thing I could think of is that maybe Harry is from the future and something happens, or charmed ones do something that causes something apocalyptic to happen in the future, and the only way to stop it and prevent it from happening is by killing the charmed ones and everyone associated with them. Or maybe even all the witches and white lighters, which happens. So, I mean, that could be another interesting spin. I don't know how they would carry that forward, you know, because like if something that they do causes this grand thing to happen, I don't know how you can continue the show in, I guess, the way that it's going, if that makes sense. But it is an option, and I'm sure they can write their way out of it. It is the CW, so. But yeah, so I really want to know if any of those theories are true, but I really think my first one is true. I really want it. It's just wishful thinking on my part. I really want it to be true. I'm also really curious to see what they learn in the Book of Elders, because I don't think they're just Greek and Latin spells. I think given the fact that Macy had help with an elder of Indian descent who basically used like, you know, acupuncture of the needle in the forehead to channel the memories of the demon and the powers of the demon, that there are other types of magic in the Book of Elders. It's just coded in Elder, like an Eldarian, whatever language. And if they learn to read it, they're going to learn a lot of stuff that they want to know and probably don't want to know. So I am very excited about that, especially since the episode tonight that I will be reviewing has Mel and Harry trying to decipher, you know, decode or translate the Book of Elders as part of the plot. So who knows what we're going to learn. But yeah, so that's my theory, our theories. What do you think? I would love to hear what your theory about Harry is, because you know, as always, I love discussions. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you'd like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know who's next on the Nerd Ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.